Welcome to the Bishop Fox Art of Hacking live stream from DEFCON. I'm Tom Eston, VP of Consulting and Cosmos at Bishop Fox.
And I'm Lindsay Von Tisch, a consultant pen tester here at Bishop Fox.
And we have the pleasure of introducing our first guest, which is John Hammond. He's a principal security researcher at Huntress, and may I say, a famous YouTuber.
Well, hey, thank you so much, everyone. This is a ton of fun. I'm very flattered to be here, and I'm excited for it.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you. So for our audience that may not know who you are, can you give us a little bit of an introduction?
Oh, sure. I'll be super quick because, hey, I know, look, we'll get to the fun of it, but my name's John. I'm a security researcher at Huntress, and, well, on the side, I try to bring out a whole lot of education and cybersecurity awareness and training out on YouTube. I figure, hey, that's a really cool place to get info out, and it's a lot of fun. It's just a labor of love and a passion project, but I'm glad we're moving and shaking.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just an honor to have you on this live stream because I've been following you for a while. I know Lindsay, you also have as well, and you're really well respected in the community. So thanks again for joining us. So kind of as a cybersecurity researcher and you're a member of the threat operations team at Huntress, so how do you approach analyzing threats and building that research for the security community?
Oh man, there's a certain, I think, duality there because for one thing, I'm maybe self-indulgent. I just love the stuff that's fun. I love the stuff that's really cool and like I just get excited about to dig into. But at the same time, I really want to find something that has impact. Like, hey, a whole lot of meaning for a lot of people. Like if there's something that, hey, is technology or software that a lot of folks use, hey, if there's some issue, if there's some new vulnerability or new exploit or zero day out in the wild, I want to help chase that. I really want to be on the front lines, in the trenches, and try to be part of it, be part of the community. So stuff like, I don't know, Microsoft Exchange was one of the big ones. Hey, some of the Kaseya VSA ransomware incidents. I really want to, be part of the fight when there's stuff that impacts a lot of folks.
Yeah, definitely. And I think one of those big vulnerabilities that you were involved with was the MOVEit vulnerability, which I think that may have been like one of the biggest security stories of this year, right?
It's been a big one, and it's crazy to me that, we're still chatting about it because it's been, 2 months now? But way back, I think over the Memorial Day weekend, hey, Klopp, one of the threat actors or adversaries, was exploiting the MOVEit transfer software. And they didn't drop ransomware. They didn't encrypt the file system or the hard drive, but it made for quite a splash of a lot of businesses kind of impacted, and then downstream other organizations and companies that were providing for others, they're impacted. But for me personally, hey, the story was a lot of long nights. We thought, hey man, let's dig into this, let's do some reverse engineering, let's try to understand how this attack chain worked. And that was honestly really fulfilling. It felt like, hey, we were kind of, first to the punch to see the whole picture here. So it was really cool to tell that story and then even work a little bit further. Hey, we got hand in hand with the vendor to see, look, are there any other SQL injection vulnerabilities or stuff we could dig into? And I don't know, I'm very, very happy to see how that all came together, but it's crazy that we're still seeing victims come out of the woodwork.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of do you see like this changing in terms of the way that ransomware or things like the MOVEit vulnerability, is that kind of a new evolution, do you think, of like how attackers are approaching this?
I think so. I think there's kind of an interesting difference in the business model of ransomware gangs and cybercrime, right? Because ultimately, money is the motivator, right? They want to get revenue. They want to make money with this activity. But in Klopp's case, where they didn't deploy ransomware or encrypt the file system, where they very well could have, well, okay, they still stole data and could do whatever extortion or blackmail they would like to threaten the victims and the target organizations to say, look, we're still going to publish your data unless you give us whatever million Bitcoin, whatever. But that's enough of a threat. That's enough of a risk to still have some leverage over them. And it's weird and interesting to see ransomware gangs have some innovation in new stuff that they're trying to do. Black Cat and AlphaV are doing similar things, but I know Klopp, they say, hey, let's put stuff on the ClearNet. It doesn't even have to be in Tor or the dark web. Let's just put some victim info out on the open internet where Google will cache it. That's crazy. That's wild and new techniques, I think, here and there.
So in your opinion, what do you think is kind of the next like high value target that these type of attackers are going to go after?
Oh man, I feel like I have a really boring answer to that one because I feel like it's the same. It's always an opportunity. They're motivated by opportunity. What's the easiest? What's the low-hanging fruit? It's never, at least not often, a very targeted, specific threat. It's, hey, can we spray and pray across the internet and see what falls out? Granted, of course, yeah, you do have some sophisticated, although I hate that word, but real targeted stuff. The thing is, it's not what you tend to see for the 99%, the mom and pop shops, the real economy and industry that we have in our world. It's just opportunity is what leads to a lot of this.
And,
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Do you think we'll see trends with ransomware moving back to traditional encryption at some point in the future, or do you think it'll continue to trend away from it?
I think so. I think we'll see a little bit of both in all reality. Maybe CLOP is, I don't know, hard charging in a new direction that maybe other syndicates and cybercrime gangs will follow suit, or I don't know, we'll go back to, the norm, regular ransomware, so to speak. But it's funny because that software, like the malware to encrypt the file system, is slow and probably from a threat actor perspective, really dumb, stupid and annoying. Like, man, we have to wait for all this encryption to take place. But if you're just as effective without it, I don't know, stealing that data, it works. The same impact at the end of the day, and you can hold a ransom over their head.
It definitely, in some cases, can lower the human cost as opposed to the destructive shutting down of critical systems too, do you think?
Absolutely, yeah. It certainly makes, at least we're still functional in a way. Hey, the business, the tech stack is up and running, but it's interesting when you kind of think, there are people behind that organization, the business and the company there, and even something like reputation can be another real damaging thing to their own business and lifeblood. Even just saying, hey, we had our data stolen, we're impacted, we're affected. Word of mouth and spread in the community, sometimes that can be, especially for some of those smaller mom and pop shops, like, hey, I'm the known trusted resource in this community. But it's damaging when something like that might happen. So,
as you know, our community, it's always evolving, and especially in the field of like malware and malware analysis. As kind of a YouTuber and an educator yourself, how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and the news and the technology and everything that's changing? Like, what works for you?
Well, I'll admit, I don't know, maybe it's too much time in front of the computer, but I love to kind of keep my ear to the ground for what's happening over on Reddit or a lot of news article spots. I'll be honest, I really love Bleeping Computer. And just trying to see, hey, what's happening in these Discord communities? What's happening on all these other forums or spots where folks get together and chat about this? Twitter, X, right, whatever.
It's X now.
It's X now. That is still home for me, I'll admit. I know, hey, we've been popping in and out of all these different social media platforms between Threads or Blue Sky or Mastodon. I'm still a sucker over on Twitter and X, I suppose, but that's where I see a lot of the InfoSec community really just bring out what they can for research, for intel, for new malware analysis. That's my feed.
Nice. So, getting back to maybe your YouTube channel, how did, what inspired you to start that?
Oh, thank you. No,
that.
Thank you for asking. It's a weird one because I feel like that's how I learned. Like, I don't know, when I was a kid, when I was younger, I was thinking, hey, I want to be a hacker. Like, I want to make video games or do cool computer stuff like I see in the movies and all. So I would Google, literally, how to be a hacker. And somehow, I guess I found like Eric S. Raymond and his blog, and literally entitled How to Become a Hacker. And it would say, you know what, you got to learn a little bit of coding. You got to learn a little bit of programming. I think they suggested the Python language at that time. So I'd go on YouTube and I'd look up Python tutorials, simple stuff, but that's how I learned, just finding stuff free online on the internet. And I thought, well, I can test myself to see, hey, am I really learning this stuff to try and teach it to others? So why don't I make some videos and try to get that info out there? And it started small, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all start somewhere, but it's really, really cool to see a little bit of the feedback loop. Because sure, you get, hey, negative hater comments on YouTube, crap like that, but you also get the folks that say, hey, you know what? If you used this technique or you tried this syntax, this could have been a whole lot faster. Or maybe you could have done something else in a different way, and that just helps me learn too, and helps everyone learn. So that's really, really awesome and something that I love, and why I want to keep doing that, because it's that positive community uplifting thing that we get to do when we share and get knowledge out there.
Yep. So what advice would you give for kind of new people that are in the industry or just wanting to get into cybersecurity?
Oh man, there are a lot of different ways to run with that, and I don't know, I feel like I've got a couple breadcrumbs here and there with a couple of the other answers, like, hey, show your work, share, do all those. Hey, really try to just network, be with people, be here at DEFCON, Black Hat, Hacker Summer Camp. This is a family reunion. It's the coolest thing when we get together and be with everyone. But probably my number one, and I'll admit, the centerpiece here is like, have fun. Just make sure it is fun. Make sure it's something that you love and you have the passion for, because there are gonna be a lot of long nights and sleepless nights when you're chasing something new. Maybe sometimes, hey, we'll forego the weekend because whoops, something's blown up. Or hey, all that vacation time that you thought you had for the holiday, hey, threat actors ruined that. So anything you can do to kind of keep your anchor and make sure this is something that you just love and have the passion for. Find the stuff that is fun and the stuff that you want to pursue, and that's my best advice. Just make sure you're having fun.
On that topic, do you have any tips for people, preventing burnout and making sure they still feel the passion in what they're doing?
I'll do my best, because I struggle with burnout 1,000%.
Me too.
I feel like I say something silly. I eat burnout for breakfast. It's every day. The best advice I could give is, take the breaks when you know you need them, and even when you think you don't. Like, I'll have a little guilty pleasure. I'll go play some video games, maybe for an hour, maybe two, because look, I'm spent. I'm at the end of my rope, and I just want to do something other than stare at code and reverse and do whatever, etc. Go outside. Hey, walk the dog. I don't know, take a lap around the neighborhood. Like, anything you can do to disconnect that in small doses. I know, because we're hungry for it. Like, I want to keep hacking. I want to keep playing. But I know sometimes you just can't. So take a nap, relax, and it's okay it feels like you're indulging in that, but it is necessary. And it's the way that you can kind of keep yourself moving forward when you feel like you're hitting the wall.
So wrapping up here, tell us what you're most excited about with DEFCON this year.
Oh, well, hey, I'll admit, I'm again just excited to see everyone. It's incredible that it's a community and everyone coming together, and I really mean it when I say it's a family reunion, because we get to spend time with you all. We get to go spend time with other great friends and folks and things that we don't get to see other than across the internet airwaves. So be able to celebrate all the great work that we've done and the research and the achievements and efforts, it's so surreal. And we see it in small spots, right? We've got a local B-Sides, we've got other conferences and events similar to this, but this is, I always think, like the center pedestal. And it's just so cool to have everyone together.
Nice. So any talks or panels you're interested in checking out?
I'll admit, I would love to tune in to some great friends. Stoke has a really cool tidbit on ANSI escape sequences being used for some other malicious efforts. Ben Sadegapur or Namsek has some great stuff just as well. And I think one of my colleagues, a great coworker of mine, Joe Slowick, he has some great, incredible research just as well. So I do want to tune into all of those and I want to support them. But truthfully, I want to go sit in a corner and play a capture the flag.
The hacker in you comes out.
Yes,
That's right.
yes.
That's right. Well, John, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on the live stream. I hope you enjoy your time at DEFCON. So thank you very much.
Well, hey, thank you all so much. It's great to be here, and again, very flattered to spend some time with you. So thank you.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
And we will be back, so stay tuned for more coming from the Bishop Fox live stream from DEFCON.